This video is an overview of how to get cutouts from SPHEREx. For the main IRSA homepage, go to the SPHEREx icon. Then if you scroll down, there's information about SPHEREx science tools, and more are coming soon. If you go to the cutout tool page, this is an overview. You can get cutouts using the SPHEREx Data Explorer, which is what most of the rest of this video is going to be on. You can also construct a URL using curl or wget in order to use the service at IRSA to download a cutout of an image of your choice. You can also explore using Python via our Python notebooks. But one of the easiest ways to do it is using the SPHEREx Data Explorer, which you can get to from that link, or probably more frequently from the IRSA homepage. You go here, and then the SPHEREx Data Explorer is that big link there. So if we load the SPHEREx Data Explorer, you can always get to the online help from here. There is a page just on cutouts here, which again goes through an overview of how to do it in a step-by-step fashion, including with information on what makes it hard and how to use the information that you get when you implement cutouts. So I encourage you to read that documentation. But let's go through more of the steps of how you do it. So from the main SPHEREx search, you go to the spectral image search, and you can put in the target that you want, and then go ahead and hit search. So these are all of the images that it found, and it's going to load the data product here. By default, it loads the whole image, which is pretty big. In this case, our target is here, and if we pick another image from this list, the target's going to be in a different location. In fact, if you go to the coverage image, you can see all of those polygons correspond to all of the individual images that it found. So if you go back to the data tab, see this scissors icon? This tells me that the cutouts are off. If I click on that, then I can change what the cutouts are doing. I don't want it centered on the table row position. I want it on the search target center. And 10 arc minutes is usually pretty good for this target. Show cutout. And now it's centered on the target that I asked for. If I view many images at once, then it shows the individual cutouts from all of the images that I have loaded. And indeed, if I scroll through the list, it's going to keep generating cutouts from all of the images that it retrieved, and it'll render those images on the right-hand side. And this is particularly useful in those cases where, of course, the target is moving all over the individual tiles, and the cutout feature makes it really easy to have this interface centered on the individual target that you care about, rather than displaying the entire image for each one of the images that it found. I want to highlight the fact that each one of these images has multiple HDUs. There are several different HDUs in each of these data products. If you go to the online help, that's part of what this discussion is telling you what all of the HDUs are and what it means when you get a cutout from all of these HDUs. In order to download these, if you select all of them or just select some of them, if you click on Generate Download Script, you can get all the data, or you can get just the cutouts, or you can get just the full images. Since this is a cutout video, if you choose just cutouts, then you will in fact get just the cutouts. It will set the cutouts to whatever you have selected here for the cutouts. So if you want larger cutouts or smaller cutouts, you need to fix it here before you go to download here. When you click on Download Script, it's going to give you a script that you can use to download the images. So you can get wget, curl, or just a list of URLs. The URLs that get constructed will show you the parameters that you need to pass to the service to get the cutouts. So if you have that list of URLs, or you have that script, and you later decide that you want a different size cutout, it's pretty straightforward to just go ahead and edit those cutout calls to use a different cutout size. So that's one of the most straightforward ways to get cutouts from SPHEREx images. Again, I encourage you to read the documentation, because there's some really important, scientifically important information that is embedded in the documentation here, but also the documentation that you can get to from the SPHEREx page here. There's more information about the cutout tool here, but then there's also the explanatory supplement that explains more about how to use SPHEREx data, because it is complicated data.